By teaching routines, we teach behaviour. We all know what the routines are. We've got them in our heads, but we don't often give the children a chance to really learn them and really understand them. The digital child is icon intelligent. It's no good sticking up bits of paper on the walls with words on them. Most of the children you're working with can't read, and even if they could, they wouldn't be interested in reading off the walls. My 3-year-old can operate my phone and my computer because he knows the symbols. He can recognize the icons to get where he wants to go. He can't read, but he can read symbols. Words mean nothing to him, but the pictures guide him everywhere he wants to go. So when we're teaching very young children about routines, we must do that with icons. And we must have something more tactile, more interactive than simply bits of white paper hanging on the walls. So one of the things we use are cubes with the agreed rules or routines on the 6 sides. You may actually decide just to have 3 rules or routines and have them twice on each cube, but you can see very simple, easy to understand icons, one voice at a time. Speak politely even when you're angry, or very simply, follow instructions. Now these cubes are on the desks, they're in the play area, they're on the carpet, they're by the sandpit, they're anywhere and everywhere where there are specific routines that you need followed. Of course, if you had 20 routines in the room at once, it would be just as chaotic. Let's concentrate on 1 or 2 routines that you want to get absolutely tight within the first 3 weeks of the children joining. Decide what those routines are. Perhaps you'll do them on cubes. Perhaps for some children, it would be better to have them as small cards, laminated, stuck to the desk, or stuck to the side of the bookcase. Perhaps it would be useful for you to have them as larger images so that you can bring children across to them and say, okay, Charlotte, tell me which one of these you weren't quite getting right. Tell me which one of these I need to talk to you about right now. It means that you can pin the behavior to the routines or the rules that you are trying to embed. The children understand what you're talking about, you understand and have a common reference, and what you're doing is you're starting to chip away at that consistent approach that we really want. Instead of saying to the children, you're being a bit naughty, you're being a bit difficult, you're not doing as you're told, we can be really specific about the behaviors that we need them to learn. In fact, you can tell how successful this has been because after a few weeks, you can test whether the children remember the rules, take heed of the routines, and are able to perform them without prompting. And if they are, you can shift the routine to something slightly more challenging. By the end of the first 12 weeks, perhaps you've taught 3 very specific routines with the children, and so you've got 3 activities that are absolutely down pat. You don't have to worry about at all. So you move it up and make the routines slightly different for the next 12 weeks. You are teaching behavior in a very structured way. You're able to monitor it to see whether it's actually working because you can test them after the 3 weeks. And you're making it fun and interactive and interesting and keeping your room bright and cheery without there being sort of the big stick of rules looming over the children.